Okay, so why was shaking hands the wrong thing to do in that situation?
Because culturally we don't do it. I mean, we don't greet each other that way, especially between the opposite sex. And it's more respectable to say namaste, which is a formal way of greeting.
Are there differences between men and women, and are there differences between inner city and more rural areas?
Yes, there's a difference between both. Like in the more rural areas, women are supposed to behave a little more respectfully when there are men around. So they don't raise their voices and drive a conversation. But in the city culture, it has evolved a little bit, so where men and women are almost on an equal platform.
So what's the schooling like? Do boys go to school with girls in India, or?
So it's mostly you have an all-girls school or you have an all-boys school. So in cases when there is a co-education, when that means there are both boys and girls in the same school, the classroom structure will generally be like the girls are situated towards one side of the classroom and the boys are towards the other end. And the general intermingling between the two is kind of discouraged.
Hey, what's up? How are you? How are you? Hey, how are you? All right. What's up?
Okay, so tell us why it was a faux pas that he shook hands with you.
Well, we don't really shake hands or hug when we first meet. We actually kind of kiss each other on the cheek. It's not an actual kiss on the cheek, it's more like in the air, and we touch each other's cheeks. And sometimes, and depending on the region or the household, sometimes it's 2 or 4 or 3. And so it's always awkward even for French people to adapt to that.
Okay, and what about some of the personal space between French people? Is that closer than American culture or further?
Yeah, it's typically closer. Even good girlfriends will hold each other's arms sometimes and be really close.
And in terms of privacy, can you explain more on that?
Well, French people don't talk as loud as Americans do, and you can notice that in a restaurant. They'll probably roll your eyes at you for being so loud.
Can you tell us some about food culture?
Yeah, typically when a family gets together, the meals tend to last very long. It can last for about 4 hours. It's like a 7-course meal, and it gets very boring for young people.
How was your week? This week? Good. Oh, really? Really? Which one was it? Which one did you see?
Actually don't remember the name of it. Hola, amigos!
Come on, stop, man!
Yeah,
Come on! Yeah, it's so good seeing you. Yeah, come on, stop, man! Come on, stop, man! Okay, why did he seem uncomfortable when you were talking to him?
Well, typically in our culture, we stand close to each other when we talk. And so while he was backing up, I kept getting closer because it's rude for people to back away from you when you're trying to talk to them.
In the groups, like when everybody was touching each other, is that like casual in Mexico? For everybody to be real touchy-feely with each other?
Yeah, in Mexico, usually you're really hands-on with everybody, just touching everybody and, patting each other on the back, giving hugs.
What is the cultural thoughts on relationships?
Usually it's more focused on relationships, so if you're going to a type of an event, you're not going to be really focused on time at all. You're focused on the people that you're talking to and the relationships you're